I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone and rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel abroad, looking up the standard of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a quick in transit through the spirit. Titled, The People of Babylon Are Sick, literally. Alright, the people of Babylon are literally sick. And this comes from inspiration from a video that Elder Apostle Gabar did. I believe it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. When he was going into a guy looked like he could be a Northern Kingdom. He looked like he can be like a Cuban or a so-called Puerto Rican, or I won't say Venezuelan because he had more of that. Looked like he could be from Honduras or something. But then again, he did appear to be, like Apostle Gabar said, that he looked like he could be an Italian Jake. Which, I mean, either or, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference when you have dark features like that. But retrospect, he was going into how he's depressed and how he's mentally tired of it all, and how, he can't seem to really cope with the reality of being an outcast. Well, I read some of the comments, and you have a lot of people that was really co-signing to what he's saying, okay? Because this society does breed a bunch of sick people. Okay, it breeds a bunch of people. It's like what they call the rat race. When if a brother's ever had like a hamster and you put the hamster on the wheel, it appears that the hamster's, in his perception, he's moving somewhere, but watching from the outside in, the hamster is really stagnant. The only thing that's moving is the wheel, okay, and not the hamster. And people have that pin hamster wheel syndrome, and this is the reason why most people are locked into this falsified reality of life, okay? Because when you have to wake up constantly and you are repeating the same thing, that's an insane person, man. Okay, like when you do the same thing that reaps no benefits or no results or anything positive from that nature, that's what you call an insanity. And the average American is clearly insane. You can look that up, okay? Because what they don't tell you, which is really acknowledged, but they don't tell you, is that mental illness or mental health is one of the biggest if not the most biggest pandemic in the world, mental health, okay? And when you go into the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, and also Habakkuk, it goes that the nations were mad because they drunk on the wine of fornication. That's this system, man, okay? Because see, when you pump an illusion of freedom into a so-called democratized society such as this, you pump that into people and they start to believe it with no results, people are going to start to become lacking in their mental, man. Because the average person here, they are robots. Like, what do we do? It's 9:30 in the morning. What do? We get up, we go to work just to pay bills, just to come home, eat our dinner, and do the same thing all over again until you die. And on top of that, they're taking more from you. Like out there in France, I believe they was protesting pension reform. You know what I'm saying? Protesting pension reform, when basically they was going into how people can't really afford to retire anymore, so therefore they got to raise the retirement age when you're 60 years old. But you ask yourself this: what a person in their right mind wants to work until they're in a goddamn nursery home, man? And this is the type of shit that Babylon promotes, man. Okay, so the people is out often sick. Like they got some at work all the time. They bombard us with these emails about personal health, mental health, health IQ. Let's do something. Let's get some food in here. They're trying to keep people engaged in what they know is failing. Okay, because Babylon the Great, it's like the scriptures go into Isaiah. What was it? Isaiah the 24th chapter. How the mirth is ceased and how the doors are going to be shut up in the streets, and the sound of the timbrels will be low. No music, and it said you should drink wine or strong drink, but not with song. Roughly paraphrasing it. That's the mirth of this place dying, man, and people are realizing it. Like, we in so-called Christmas/Thanksgiving season, you don't really see decorations like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? You don't really see people with the Christmas lights and, the big family holiday. People ain't really doing that no more because they don't really have hope anymore. Everybody's mentally sick. They're depressed. They're overworked. They're stressed out. So what that guy was saying in the video, that's actual reality for majority of the people, because I guarantee you, like 80% of those comments, people, they can relate to it. He said, well, I don't fit in with anybody. I feel awkward. Well, it's because the society promotes that, man. Okay. They promote you men sitting on your couch and beating off all day to porn. You know what I'm saying? Smoking weed or whatever type of drug abuse you're in, playing video games all day, and they don't teach you how to really improve as a person. Okay, like they tell you what to think and not how to think. Like, why in other cultures people are learning how to write checks at a young age, man? Okay, you should learn how to write a check at the age of 12 or 13. You should know how a bank account works. You should know how to write checks. You should know how like the tax system to some degree work. But the average American, they don't learn it until they get out of high school or college, man. You know, some Americans, they don't get bank accounts until they're fucking 25 years old. You know, I think I had my first bank account when I was 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? Which some people say, okay, that's pretty early. But in retrospect, it's not, because in a perfect society, my parents would already have that set up like a trust fund so I can be well off, so I don't have to really want for anything. But we're not taught that. So therefore, you got all this debt, okay, which this is a completely debt-based system, credit-based system, which deals with debt, because credit is something that you can't tangibly see or you can't tangibly hold. Okay, it's just numbers that exist on a keyboard. So if they say, well, look, you have this certain amount of credit and you can buy this and this and that, basically you just gave them control over your finances, man. Because who is them to dictate how much credit you really own? But you can't prove it. So everybody is locked into this rat race. Okay, well, credit cards, I got to finance this, I have to finance that. You know what I'm saying? I need to take out another loan on my, well, wait a minute, man. If you buying a house, you should be able to just buy the house right out. You shouldn't have to take out another loan on your mortgage, man. That's putting you in more debt, you know? So that's a slave-based system. And you can see why everybody's depressed, man. Because when they look at other cultures and they found out that a lot of the taxpayers' money was going to fund war and genocide, people was pissed off about that, man. But yet, they still look at this. This is what people do every day. And guess what, brothers? We're part of this rat race, too, to some degree. You know why? Because we have to do the shit. Not because we don't know, but we have to fall in line with this, because if you don't work, you can't provide your family. You know what I'm saying? And they push that work culture on Jake and just people in general, because that's a way to keep you engaged, man. Slavery. Okay? Because the more money we make, the more money we make the elites, and the more money they take from us, man. Okay? So this is all a pit. This is a pit, man. You know? So, like, okay, pay attention, like all these people, right? If you pay attention, so just look at the way they drive, for instance. Most people are rushing to get to a place that's probably getting ready to fire them in another week or so, okay? But yet they put all their faith and their trust in a system that never really had their best interests, and then people are depressed. I mean, I've seen people literally kill themselves. Well, I've heard of people really offering themselves because they didn't find any work, man. You know? Like, it was a video that came out earlier this week. Last week, I believe, it was like look how she can be like a Filipino chick. And she was literally bugging out because, for the simple fact, she felt that she was worked hard for this company, but they didn't make end on their promise. You know, she felt mistreated. She felt displaced. She didn't feel respected. She didn't feel valued. You know what I'm saying? And she was literally bugging out. And things like that drive people into mental depressions, man. Okay? And this is why when you go in the average person's medicine cabinet, you got this depression pill. You got this for anti-depression. You got that. You got that for coping. You got that for schizophrenia. Okay, you got that from this, whatever disease that you may suffer from, man. You know, because they don't put mental illnesses out there like that. Though they acknowledge it, but when you go to like the doctors and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, they have to clinically diagnose you to be in so-called bipolar or this and that. Okay, you can't just go in there and say, well, I think I'm schizophrenic, or I think I suffer from emotional trauma. They got to put you through all these health-based assessments so they can classify whether you are mentally ill or not. And if they see fit that you're not, then they're not going to label you mentally ill, man. Okay, they're just going to say, look, go have a walk in the park, calm down, have some soup, you know, and everything is going to work itself out. Totally stupidity, man. And this is the average American. So that's why when this society collapses and when it falls, people are going to literally lose their minds out here. They're not going to have access to the medicine. They're not going to have access to the particular care that they need. People are literally going to take this depression out on one another. And hey, it's going to be bad, man. Okay, and Apostle Gabar made an excellent point. He said the guy in the video, he said the Most High can put a death angel on that guy, and he can literally become a agent of or a agent of death, man. Okay, because when a person like that, they have no connection to people, then they lose it. Because by us being people, we supposed to connect in some way, form, or fashion, man. You know, people, we're literally connected to the world, the Israelites, we're literally connected to the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. So they have what they call exchanging energies and stuff like that. Like you can be around a person and know if they're gonna vibe with you or not, or if they just on some bullshit, you know, but the average person, they can't really connect. So what they do, they overly drink, they do drugs, they do something to put them in an alternate state of mind to keep them engaged. But then again, it just taxes their dopamine receptors, man, and they're gonna need more of it. So the point, they're just gonna crash, man. Okay, so these people are literally through. A couple of precepts here. This is the book of Shalom Akim Akwatim Yahabashim Yahushai Barakathum. You said your office just got hit with a cyber attack. Oh wow. Call Allah Yahabashim Yahushai, man. And that's another thing. People gonna bug out off that shit because the first thing cyber attacks, oh man, you know. But that's your part, bro. I pray that this whole damn society gets hit with a cyber attack, man. Because honestly speaking, I'm tired of going into work, man. You know, like everybody was bugging out last week because they was like, man, we don't know if our program gonna last. One lady, she like, you don't really seem to be bothered by it. I said, because I'm not bothered by it, man. I don't give a shit what happens to this job. I don't care. Okay, like if all hell broke loose tomorrow, I would rejoice because we're not emotionally engaged like you people. And that's the beautiful part about the brothers, man. We're not emotionally invested in Babylon anymore. Okay, the Most High has divested us by putting us through certain things and opening up our eyes to the madness here. That's why the scriptures say, he that increaseth knowledge will increase its sorrow, man. And surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. Because when you know, and you know how things are supposed to be versus to how they're being ran, then through the spirit, you like, you know what? Why am I even putting my energy into something that's not really profiting me? Okay, and that's what the average person don't think. You know, these people bug out literally because they can't make Thanksgiving due to a flight delay in an airport. They will literally bug out and have an emotional panic because they can't make it to Grandma Betty's crib, man. You know, and the crazy part about it is they're talking about storms down south starting tonight, I believe, that's gonna disrupt people's Thanksgiving. You know, so a lot of people, they're gonna have a lot of overlays, a lot of delays. And a lot of people are not going to be able to make it to their destinations because tornadoes, rain, you know, I believe snow in parts of the country. Like it's supposed to snow out here Saturday, I think. You know, but yet it's going to be 50-something degrees today. You know, look at that look at that car over there, you know. So, yeah, man, these people are through. But a couple of precepts here. Isaiah 51:14. It says, the captive exile hasten that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in a pit, that his bread shall fail. Yeah, man. You know, and this is what we on. Like, the pit represents slavery, this system. And when you think of a pit, you think of a pit that has no walls, you can't get out of it. Okay, and that's the equivalent to the American society, or just the Western culture anyway. Because you have systems set up like tax systems, you have Title 4D, okay, you have the credit-based system, you have the Social Security Act, you know what I'm saying, the Department of Human and Health Services. That's all designed to pretty much keep you as a slave, man. Okay, and the fact that you have a birth certificate and a social security number, they're making money and they're making business transactions off your name because technically you are a dead entity. But that's designed to keep you in a system. You know what I'm saying? Like I called HR the other day because they was taking some other stuff out my check. I'm like, well, look, I'm calling to do a cease and demand or a cease and desist, and I need a discharge of this. And the lady straight up told me, she said, well, I got to have court approval to do that. I'm like, what do you mean you got to have court approval when they're doing this shit illegally? But she said, well, look, we got to cover our end. I believe you, but I can't do it. That's slavery, man, because I should be able to call up HR and be like, look, I opt out of this because this is what you call a volunteer service. But they don't see it that way because it's under the quote unquote color of law, which is set to trip you up, man. Okay, and that keeps you in a depressed state of mind when you're thinking about how you're gonna pay that bill, or if they're gonna do this to you, if they're gonna come gunning for you because you're delinquent in your taxes or whatever. You know, it's just nothing but worries and stresses, man. Okay, and it says here, nor that his bread shall fail. Okay, Baruch 3:8, it says, behold, yet we are this day in our captivity where thou hast scattered us, to be a reproach and a curse, to be subjected into payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, right? Which is a curse. All right, like You got a monthly bill, you got a mortgage, you're paying taxes on the mortgage, you're paying insurance, homeowners insurance, you're paying car insurance, you're paying light, gas, you're paying for food, man. You know, you're paying to keep gas in the car, you're paying car insurance, and the list goes on. Okay, and enough of that, you'll be jacked up, man, because when you look at it, you're like, I ain't got no money to pay, I ain't got no money to do nothing. You know, you may want to take your kids out to get some pizza or something, and yet now you got to use the credit card, which is another form of debt, because you don't have the money to do what you got to do because they've already took 80% of your income, man. You know, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, why the hell are these people ain't revolting, man? Like, the people ride for less. Like, how did it get this far to the point you people are lumped into this pit and you don't even care? Okay? It's like, what the hell? It's like, how in the hell can you Americans allow them to send your money to fund a war and to genocide taxpayers' money, and yet you are okay with this? Like, did y'all know if y'all stop going to work and stop paying them damn taxes, did you know that they can't do anything? What they gonna do, arrest everybody? You know, but see, these people, man, they literally gotta have shit taken from them at gunpoint. And that's what I'm realizing about these people, because the American people are so mentally slow to the point that they really think that they're free. Well, you know, we got our homes, we got our jobs, we got our vehicles, we still got Monday Night Football. As long as we be cool and follow the line, they ain't gonna take that from us. Well, they gonna take all that from you, man. And when you look in the sky, these people being bombarded by these chemtrails. And this is the reason why they all jacked up, man. They can't seem to revolt. Their mind's not working because we ingesting all these chemicals. Look at that, man. This is what we're breathing in. A nice blue sky, but what did this man do? He sit up here and he sprays forever chemicals in the damn air and wonders why everybody is sick. And yet people are just lollygagging, blah, blah, ain't nothing happening. You know, we're going to just continue to live our good old merry lives until we die from fucking cancer, right? You know, this is why we hasten to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai to get us out of here, man, because we know how this is going to end. Okay, we know that we're above this, and we know through the spirit that this is not living. You know what I'm saying? Seeing elderly folks on depressing meds, man, diabetes meds, it's disturbing. You know, to see how people have been totally lumped up and duped for their fucking livelihoods, man. So this man got to go. Okay, his own people is even suffering under his jurisdiction, which we don't really care about that. But regardless of it, if he's doing wickedness to his own people, how will he do good to anybody else? Like the scripture said, if a person, roughly paraphrasing it, is not good to himself, whom good should he be? So if you're not profitable unto yourself, then you damn sure won't be profitable to anybody else. And that's just really how it works, man. You know? Let me see something real quick. Give me 1 second, brothers. 1 second, 1 second. Give me 1 second, Salakia. I need to give me another phone holder. I got one at the crib. I just can't. I think it's like in one of my boxes, and the other one I had broke. It's no good. But I got to give me a phone holder so I can put on a windshield. That way I don't have to hold this phone. Sorry, man. You know, Jake just be improvising. But Baruch 3:8, it says, yet we are this day in our captivity where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse to be subject unto payments for the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord Yahweh, right? Con. Isaiah 31:1. And it reads, it says, woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help, that stay on horses and trust in chariots, because there are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. That's right. You know, they don't seek Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And I'm talking about our people. They don't seek the Lord for clarity, man, on what to do. Okay, the average person doesn't fast. They don't pray. Okay, they don't pray every morning or every night before they go to bed or before they leave out the house. You know, because this society has taught people, well, our people, that the concept of a higher power is pretty much farce, you know, and they shed light on the churches in a negative way because the churches have failed, because there's no truth in the churches. So people don't really believe in going to church anymore. So therefore, people resort to their own means, getting high, antidepressants, you know, fentanyl, all this madness, man. And this is the result of it. A bunch of Looney Tunes running around here. And y'all see, man, when all hell break loose, people really the true colors are going to come out. You're going to find out that these people, they don't really vibe with each other, man. It's all an illusion. Like this kingdom is really an illusion. Nothing is what it seems, you know. frequencies in mind control society. Yep. They was found out that they was doing experiments on soldiers during the time of World War II. What they called, I got an article on it, man, but they was doing like test experiments on their mind, controlling their mind through frequencies, man. You know, a small bridge collapsed over here where you work in Arkansas, you drive an 18-wheeler. Wow. What are the chances of that? Right? But yeah, anyway, brothers, man, pretty much it. So I'm going to end it giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. And with that, Shalom.